In 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, ha! Fat boys are back. And you know they can never be whacked. The fat boys are back. And you know it's the fat boys. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a little thing that we call the Cipher. I'm your host, Marcus the Kid Warren, and with me is my man Muff. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great today.
Doing great?
I'm great because we're doing another show. Number one. Number two, we're talking about a group that's near and dear to my heart.
Yes, I do.
And we'll go into, I don't even want to go and start, but today's show we're going to be dealing with a Tribe Called Quest documentary, Beats, Rhymes, and Life.
Yes, sir.
We have a lot to say about it, and but I don't want to go and spill all the beans right now. We want to kind of go over a couple things.
Well, first let's let the people know how they can get a hold of us.
Okay.
First, thank you as always to everybody out there who's been checking out the segments and sending us all your emails and putting all your comments in on the YouTube thing and subscribing to clbTV. And look, do us all a favor, subscribe to clbTV if you like these segments. If you like the other segments on the channel, subscribe. And do us all a favor and hit that little like button down there if you like this thing, or if you don't like us, we like for you to hit the like button. Hit the like button. But anyway, hit us up on our Gmail account, which is kidandmuff44@gmail.com. That is KIDDANDMUFF44@gmail.com. We're also kidandmuff44 on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. You can hit us up. We are the Cipher Crew. The Cipher Crew, the one and only Cipher Crew. So hit us up. And a lot of y'all have been hitting us up. As a matter of fact, my boy Jonathan Gonzalez.
My
man Gonzalez.
Name, you don't hear it as much.
Jonathan Gonzalez hit us up with an email. Right. So why don't you go ahead now?
Okay, just so you guys know what we're gonna do. We appreciate you guys emailing us. And what we want to do going forward is take time and read your emails on the webcast. So we can go just answer you guys right then and there, But my man, I think he's from Brooklyn here.
Yes, sir.
He writes, "Hi, man," and this has to do. We did a segment some time ago on '90s hip hop, which is like the decade near and dear to our hearts, and that's a great segue into what we're talking about today. At any rate, he writes, "My name is John Gonzalez, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Currently living in Kansas City as a graphic designer. He wanted to see where he says I'm." Reading it in first person here. I wanted to see if I maybe can join on your conversation about 90s hip-hop. Though I know it was about 3 or 4 months ago since the video was posted, I still have yet to let you guys know what I believe to be true and great about hip-hop in the 90s. Now, I won't act like I know everything about hip-hop. I'm only 23 years old, and I like that because he knows his place. Don't be
props, Jonathan. Props.
You know what I mean? 23 years old don't mean you don't know, though. Because
don't say he knows his place.
No, I'm kidding. Because when I was 20 years old, I was like talking to my father like I knew James Brown. I knew Pablo Funkadelic. At any rate, I'm only 23 years old, and I don't believe one person can know everything there is. But I do know and agree 100% with the Cipher Crew, that's us.
Thank you.
That is that the 90s did produce the best in hip-hop. Something I found a little puzzling and debatable was the Wu-Tang albums mentioned. Not many were mentioned, and I agree with the fact that Tikal fell short compared to Liquid Swords. Told you. But one album you didn't mention, which surprised you, was the Enter the 36 Chambers. And I'm going to address that really during the Tribe review, because I'll speak on a little bit here just to answer this question. There were so many albums that we left out because we only had so much time to do that webcast. We knew we missed out on some obvious things, and Enter the 36 Chambers was certainly obvious too. Though it was a very short album, I believe every song in there was worthy of the title classic. Enter the 36 has to be my favorite Wu of all, surpassing the solos. Now, I won't down-talk the solos because there are my favorite 3 albums. No, I won't down-talk the solos because those are my favorite 3 albums from the solos, but Enter the 36 is the best to me. Okay. Another thing that got me that I didn't hear was the mention of Nas's Illmatic. Another obvious omission. Of course, Illmatic was a classic.
I apologize.
You sure you want to apologize?
Apologize, man.
Nas's Illmatic or It Was Written. Now that's where you're wrong. Nas's It Was Written was not a classic. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, I'm not, and obviously, Jonathan, you know a lot about hip hop, but I'm not gonna go with you there. I just can't. It Was Written was okay. It wasn't even a great album to me.
Really?
Hey, it wasn't even a great album to me because, you know, that's another subject. Okay, now both albums were straight class. He said straight. The production in both of them was flawless. I disagree with it was written. But Illmatic at Q-Tip, which is what we're talking about today, Pete Rod, DJ Premier, and Launch Professor. From the Genesis to It Ain't Hard to Tell, that album was phenomenal. He's talking about Illmatic, obviously. Lyrics, beats, and flow, hand down #1 album. And this is a very long email that he sent to us. The score from the Fugees he mentioned was worthy of a classic. That's debatable to me, but I understand people who say that that's a classic. I'm not going to say it's crazy like it was written was crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I definitely agree with that. The Fugees, the score was a classic album.
We did talk about, he said, as for Mobb Deep, I do believe they had to be the epitome of 90s hardcore rap. I certainly agree that the album was ridiculous.
Props.
With the infamous album. That's basically it. He went on to see, he said he was surprised to see that Tupac's Machiavelli or Big L's Lifestyle to Poor and Dangerous wasn't on there. Now, okay, here we go.
Are we going to get into Tupac here?
No, but I'm going to tell y'all, and I don't care what y'all say. Machiavelli was not a freaking classic album at all. Guess what it lacked?
What did it lack?
Beats! Beats! And y'all know that. I don't care. I don't care what you say. There wasn't no beats on that album.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, if you call Hail Mary a beat, then there you have it. But it wasn't. It just didn't. It just like beats. It was okay. He mentioned DMX.
Dark as Hell and Hot.
Yeah, that is a classic.
That is a classic album.
I will say that's a classic
album.
I'm
mad at myself for not recognizing that.
You know, and obviously, Jay-Z mentioned too. So on and so forth. But that's the gist of his email. But obviously, Jonathan, you know a lot about your hip hop. I disagree with you in a few of your choices there. Again, it was such a short podcast that we had to work with. We missed some obvious things, man. But
you know, we need to come back and I'm not going to talk about it today. But we really need to get back to this whole Tupac thing because so many people have so many strong feelings about Tupac, and every time we bring up Tupac and say that, oh, Tupac, this album wasn't classic, and Machiavelli wasn't classic, he wasn't a classic MC.
Before we go into that, let me get my money where I get my security together. You know where I'm going with. You know, people be mad, emotional about Pop. Very good MC. To me, he's not top 5. And for me, he's not even my top 10 all time.
Okay.
Or was he in my top 10 all time? I don't know.
I think we did that, and he was not in. I don't think he was in either one of our top 10. But
he's top 15 MC for sure. But you know, based on my criteria, Okay, and also, I have one more email.
Oh yes, we had another email. Peter Choi, my man Peter Choi.
Peter Choi. He wrote the title is asking for your guys' opinions, and it says, "Hey Marcus and Muff, that's us.
That's me.
Recently came across your YouTube channel by searching for reviews on Bad Meets Evil new EP. Bad Meets Evil's new EP. That's a new EP, obviously by Voice 59 and Eminem.
Hi.
Anyways, after I saw a lot of your other reviews, I have to say I'm a fan. Thank you. You guys seem to always have interesting topic discussions when it comes to hip hop regarding artists and such. However, I was wondering if you could dip your toes in new territory and try discussing your opinions on how you feel about hip hop, how it's doing outside of the U.S. You know, talking about from hip hop from Africa, Europe, Asia, and such. I think it'd be interesting to see what you guys come up with listening to different cultures hip hop. And he goes into, I'm not going to read the entire thing. He mentioned a couple of groups. He sent us some links to a couple of guys. Epic High being one of the groups here. I'm all for international hip hop. I've heard from people who've gone overseas talking about how dope the hip hop scene was overseas. Some of my favorite artists are foreign artists. I mean, you know, Snow Goons. I believe the Snow Goons is a production team. I want to say they're from Germany.
Okay.
Nicolay from Foreign Exchange. That dude, he's from the Netherlands. You know what I'm saying? So I love international hip hop. Japan has a really bumping hip hop scene, but I'm certainly going to check out the guys that you talked about, this Epic High, and give you our opinion on it. I haven't really had a chance to do that yet, but I will. So again, you guys keep coming with the emails. I'm going to try to read them on our webcast here and just kind of take it from there. But thank you guys so much for listening to us.
Yes, and thanks for all the love. But anyway, let's get into what we came here to talk about, man. So rev up your engines. You ready?
You know what we're here for.
Stop it, man. Anyway, my man.
Play some tree songs.
You stupid, man. Anyway, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
We've talked about him before in the past. We talked about him when we used to do the radio show about the white boy who has a ghetto pass. Put out a documentary on one of the hottest rap groups out there, which is A Tribe Called Quest.
Hang on, let me stop you there. What you mean, one of the hottest rap groups out there? The rap group, A Tribe Called Quest.
The rap
ain't
group?
just some hot group.
You
see, y'all know, you know how y'all be feeling about Pac and how y'all be feeling about Eminem is how I feel about Tribe. So let me just.
Okay, well, I mean, but that's your opinion. I mean, I know they're hot. I'm not gonna take anything away from them.
They're beyond hot. They're classic. They're icons.
Okay, they are icons. I'm not gonna take that away from. They are okay. Okay. 5,
Rock's a hot president.
4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on? This is the Cipher. My name is Kim. This is Muff. How you doing today, sir? Today we're gonna be talking about some icons.
Yeah, okay.
The icons that are A Tribe Called Quest. They are the best rap group that ever existed. Their albums are all platinum. Q-Tip is the greatest rhymer ever.
Three classics in a row, by the way. Three classics in a row.
His urine cures cancer and the common cold. DJ.
This is going to go on for a while. Go ahead, I'm tired. Finish. DJ
Ali. He is
DJ Ali. Now you know you don't know what you're talking about. So you just need to cut it right there.
Anyway. Right. But anyway.
The documentary in Tribe Called Quest. I'm so happy they came out with this. You know, like how a lot of you guys always ribble on the Tupac fans and Eminem fans. But Tribe has probably some of the most emotional fans or passionate fans about their music too, because of what they meant to hip hop. Michael Rappaport came out with the documentary Beats, Rhymes, and Life. We were privileged to be able to go ahead and see that. We do have an opinion on it. Great documentaries. A lot of things I found out about that group that I did not know before.
Right.
And one of the things I kind of wanted to talk to you about, and I've been reading this so long, even before we even talked about this, you're talking about the comparisons between De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest, and who's better, so on and so forth. And one of the things I'll say, and I don't want to get into one-upsmanship and who did what and boom, because they're both great in their own right. But there are some differences. Number one, we know that De La came out with 3 Feet High and 3 Feet High and Rising.
Correct.
Which is obviously a classic album.
Yes, I do agree.
Next album, De La Soul is Dead. Not quite a classic album, but a good album. Balloon Mind State, it was a solid album, but not a classic album. Okay. Tribe came out the box with 3 successive great albums, and that's kind of where I wanted to start with this thing. It's talk not so much about the underlying issue between Q-Tip and Fife, but the music of Tribe and how that influenced music going forward, especially the type of music we listen to. Certainly, I listen to.
Okay.
I think I talked before about the fact that I didn't know. Now I know whether you knew about this or not. I thought that Ali Shaheed Muhammad, not DJ Ali, damn it.
Whatever, he's the guy behind the turntable.
Well, apparently that's what he was, because I thought he used to do the production for Tribe. I didn't know that Q-Tip actually did the vast majority of the production. I know that there's a beat or two done by a large professor here and there, but pretty much it was done by Q-Tip.
See, you didn't even know that. See?
And you didn't either.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that, y'all. I'm just fronting.
I know.
Yeah,
No, on the real, so, and he does a lot of production right now. Q-Tip has done a lot of production throughout the 90s, but that changed the whole dynamic of how I looked at this thing, because, I mean, this dude, and a lot of people have mentioned this even during the documentary, man, look, even Pharrell said, Q-Tip is a master loop digger. I mean, that dude, man, comes with some crazy loops. Now, okay, take it from the beginning. The native tongues, how they came up with the native tongues. Another thing that was mentioned before, I think you mentioned this, is that De La and Tribe both had their own crazy gear. You know what I mean? That they wore, as far as the type of they had the hippie thing going. But what made Tribe different? Tribe was a little bit more Afrocentric, whereas De La was more just kind of a black hippie thing. Not that they were really trying to be that, just what we boxed them into being, because we didn't know how to categorize them, I guess. Daisy Age and all that other stuff, right? The whole even the whole issue with them coming together with the native tongues, they all had this independent way of thinking. They were very creative. What I thought was really incredible about that documentary is because they kind of set the stage for what happened before the low end theory came out.
Okay.
And they talked about the fact that, well, Q-Tip was like, forget a sophomore jinx. I'm about to knock this out the park. He's telling Fife, you got to get into the studio. That album came out as Fife's coming out party. The microphone check 1, 2. What is this? The Fife, what is it? What's wrong with that business? that was Feist's coming out party. It wasn't just the low man, he just happened to be there type guy. He came out there, the beats were ridiculous. And when the Low End Theory came out, and I'm quoting Pharrell goes, you know what, ain't nobody effing with Tribe now. This is crazy. And I remember listening to that album, and I love the People's Instinctive Travels and Paths of River. I love that album. I love Benita Applebine. That's what made me buy that album. You know what I'm saying? But Low End Theory was ridiculous. But I don't want to hog up all the time, man. Where you at on this?
Well, like you and like I'm sure a lot of people, they were really, really blown away because Q-Tip never took credit for that. Right. And that he even said in the documentary. He said, look. At the end of it, or I think maybe in the beginning and end of it, he said, "Look, I never came out and said I was the the Ginsu master of this whole thing. He said it's all about the tribe." And then the one thing that, and I don't know if you want to talk about this any at all, but the one thing about this movie is that it was, to me, the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever seen about hip hop. And that was about the split up of a Tribe Called Quest.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But because I mean, look, I'm all about imagery. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the native tongues. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's loving each other. Everybody's rolling in the car together. I left my wall in El Segundo video. Everybody's in that Dodge, and everybody's just chilling, listening to beats and everything. That's the way I look at Tribe. Everybody, and I know it's stupid.
It's not that it's stupid. No, and I understand. I felt the same way when they broke up. My point is that whenever you look at any behind the music type of documentary on any group, and I don't care if it's hip hop, rock, whatever, I'd say maybe 70% of them groups got a similar story about them breaking up and having some type of friction inside the band, especially the famous ones. They could be freaking, man, look, the band, Pink Floyd, they lost their front man. Think of Van Halen.
But
I mean, this
but you expect that stuff to happen to Van Halen, Pink Floyd. Those are rock bands. This is a Tribe Called Quest. It's all about love. The last album was a love movement. You know what I'm saying? It's a Tribe Called Quest. I mean, you don't expect a Tribe Called Quest to break up. I mean, if you called me up and said a Niggas with Attitudes just broke up, I would be like, no kidding. They just broke up. It was not a Tribe Called Quest. But they were actually fighting.
Yeah, it was messed up. But
it was just to me it was just very heartbreaking.
No, I hear you, man. But I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna address that same. I want to back up again on the music tip about that. One of the notes I took in watching this doc here was that I think Bob Power referred to the Low End Theory as the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band album for hip hop.
Okay,
and I see what he's going with that, because that album kind of ushered in a new genre of hip hop. Even Common said so. It had that type of bassy, jazzy type of influence. And I know again there maybe had been a little bit of jazz here and there, but not in the way the Tribe did it. They went extra hard on that. They didn't look at some of the beats on the album. Some of the beats were ridiculous. Think of Scenario. The Scenario beat was crazy. Excursions, back in the day when I was a teenager before I had said, it's just that bass going over there, and he over there rapping just to the bass line. Then the beat drop is a little bit ridiculous. And the real cool thing about it is that in the documentary, you do see Mos Def actually reading that verse off a Q-Tip shirt. At the I think it was some type of concert they had. I forget what it was. At any rate, he's reading, back in the day that I was a teenager, because, really, I mean, to me, Mos Def is kind of a, unofficial native tongue guy too. You know what I mean? You had speaking of native tongues, you had Queen Latifah. I forgot that she was a native tongue. The Beat Nuts are in native tongues. You know what else I forgot was in the native tongues too? Brand freaking Nubian.
Oh yeah,
Brand Nubian was in the native tongues too, man. And they came up with their own classics. And again, if you look at that whole, man, just that whole clique, man, it was just all just creative and just different. And that's what I loved about them, man. But go ahead.
Oh, well, you know what? I was going to let you go off on a little rant for a little while, but you know what? The thing is, I mean, and I don't want to steer away from the music, because I think the music, when it comes to Tribe, it speaks for itself. I mean, it's like Tribe, they changed music for hip-hop, and I mean, it's like, Pharrell, when he made that statement, that Q-Tip, if it wasn't for Q-Tip, you wouldn't have artists like NERD. I mean, you wouldn't have your Kanye West. I mean, you wouldn't have your Jay Dillas.
Yeah, well, because they're direct descendants of Tip. Direct. I mean, Dilla came from Tribe, basically. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I just thought that was pretty telling that Pharrell went into this. And speaking of, we talked about 36 Chambers, and I was reading that email.
Right.
Questlove said that. Let me read this so I make sure I had it right. I actually wrote this down. Questlove said that on the second Tuesday of October of 1993 was the last great day in classic hip hop because 2 albums came out. The 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang and also Midnight Marauders.
Right.
I remember when that album came out. Man, listen. I mean, just from front to back, that album is just banging. To this day, I'll play that album to this day, man. And, you know, it doesn't stop. And then it went from, like, your party anthems to a war tour, which you could play at a club everybody dancing to. Then you hear the song Midnight. The song Midnight, the track was, like, kind of haunting almost the way it went out, man. It was still jazzy, but it was kind of haunting. And then there's a part in the documentary which I thought was really cool where Busta Rhymes comes in and talks to Q-Tip. This had to be within the last few years. It says, yo, man, I just broke down and started crying after listening to Oh My God. Okay, I'm getting a call here. Okay. He said he had to go. He wanted to cry because he listened to Lyrics to Go, which is actually a sample from one of Minnie Riperton's songs. And Oh My God, the one he goes, oh my God, that's the name of the song, obviously. Just listening to those songs back to back, because that's towards the end of the album. You're like, man, this album is just a straight, like, to me, that's one of the few albums that I listened to the first time and said, this is a classic from the jump. A classic from the jump. Not to mention that it was a really cool album cover with all these people's faces on it, so on and so forth. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go on and on about it. I just think everybody should check this doc out. Do yourself a favor. If you're into hip hop, like, whether you like a Tribe Called Quest or not.
Oh, they all like hip hop. They all like everybody loves Tribe. Come on now.
Whether you're a Tribe fan or not.
Yeah, listen.
Check this out.
I will guarantee Tribe ain't nowhere near as polarizing as far as people who like and don't like them as Tupac and Eminem are. Eminem and Tupac, to me, are two of the most polarizing hip-hop artists because there's people who swear they nice and people who don't think they're as nice as people make them out to be. No, let me backtrack because I don't want to even get this twisted because I'm coming off the wrong way. Eminem is dope. Eminem is very dope. Eminem is a better MC than Tupac. Straight up. I'm going to say that right now. I don't care. Ain't nothing you can tell me that Tupac is a better MC than Eminem. Ain't nothing you can say. If Tupac will come back from the grave saying that, I bet you he would admit to that. But at any rate, the point of the matter is, Eminem's fans won't admit that he puts out some whack product, especially when it comes to his beats. That's what their problem is. Tupac fans make the mistake of thinking that everything this dude put out there was incredible, and it wasn't. There's some stuff I heard from Tupac that was mildly whack because his beats is off. Straight up. And then Tupac... we started another show.
Anyway, A Tribe Called Quest documentary. Jeez, I gotta stop hanging around.
I always get caught up on that word.
That's something else we will be talking about at a later date. But anyway, do yourself a favor. Check out this doc. It is something that you really have to check out. I mean, it's hip hop history, y'all. It is hip hop history. But closing,
check it out. I'm on record. Tribe is my favorite all-time band. Then between them and Public Enemy, I would say those are my two all-time favorite bands. The legacy of Tribe can be felt all through, especially the underground, man. From all your Dre Dilla stuff, all your Mad Lib stuff. Y'all listen to Kanye. Kanye goes back to Tribe. So on and so forth. So check it out. You might find out a few things about that band that maybe you didn't know before. And look, they still have one album left in their contract with Jive. So hopefully they can get things together, put out one more album, make it nice. Because even Q-Tip's solo album, The Renaissance, criminally slept on. It was very good. That could have played just like a Tribe album, But anyways, very good. Please check it out.
Is definitely a genius.
Great dude. Very much
great MC. Anyway, don't forget to hit us up on our Gmail account, which is KIDDANDMUFF44@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter. We are KidMuff44, just like our Gmail account. And you can also hit us up on Facebook. We are the Cipher Crew. And look, check out that doc, Beats, Rhymes Life, A Tribe Called Quest by Michael Rappaport. Check it out because why? The Cipher said so, son. Peace.
Later.